So thank you. My name is Bogdan Mitrache. I'm from Cafian. We're a software vendor building and selling software for over 18 years now. And recently we've started building a new project. It's called Bytes Route. It's a solution to build interactive tutorials without writing code for web applications. So our company has built a couple of products over the years. And we started with desktop software back in 2000s, and now we have a couple of software as a service applications. And we've encountered some challenges over that time that gave us basically the idea for a new product. And the main challenges that we've encountered was to raise productivity for our tech support teams and to decouple the efforts of user experience onboarding and better quality on user training, be it through support or through our manuals, from the developers and release cycles of our applications. Basically what we saw, especially with support teams, was that selling business-to-business software means that you have a lot of complicated user interfaces, and many of the replies that you send to customers over support are of the type, go to this view, click this, do that, and so on. So basically a to-do list like tip. And this is not very efficient for users. They can make mistakes. It's not easy for them to remember what to do. And we want to do something better. So we moved over to making videos for the most common scenarios. But videos also have drawbacks because you change the interface of the application, you move options and so on, and they become outdated. And again, if you want to integrate those videos in your app, you might need to depend on developers and also sync with the release cycle. So everything that you need to do, it takes a lot of time. So we said, what can we do to build a solution that allows a product manager to create an onboarding guide for a customer, or a tech support engineer to send a set of steps to one of our customers and say to navigate through these views and teach him how to use the application while actually in the application instead of a simple email. Or even create custom onboarding scenarios on landing pages from our site. So I have a quick demo here of our product. It's basically the product is basically a Chrome extension, and it allows you to create a tutorial without writing any code for any web app. So you install the Chrome extension. It's called Bytes Route, just outside our site, and you find it in the Chrome store. And you say start recording. Okay, this is a small tip to teach you how to use it. And now you can see you can hover over the page and start selecting the elements that you want to indicate. And here you can add a quick message for the user to know what he's doing, and add the next step. And here we're just creating a demo tutorial that teaches a user how to enable dark mode. Let's say our user, we're selling Outlook, and we need to tell him, the user, how to do this. Enable the option. Okay, and now we save this tutorial. Say dark mode on, some description. And you can choose to save this tutorial public or private. The private part is something new we are experimenting now, especially for potential B2B customers that want to save this information privately inside their own cloud, so that only their customers or only their employees can use it in the case of an employee training. And if you share
heads up, 1 more minute. You have 1 more minute. Speed up.
Perfect. And if you can share it if you share it publicly. So here, let me show you how it works now. Once you've created it, you just launch the tutorial, and the user just interacts with your app, and you're all done. Okay. And basically, this is what we're doing right now. And we have some more improvements to do. and tweaking on the app. We have some competitor in the marketplace, so this is good. It validates our approach, but we're going on a different market approach. We're going more on a bottom-up approach where we're providing the users a community space where they can create these tutorials and share them for free, and also give the options with added services for our B2B customers, potential B2B customers. We're now working on a script integration, so they don't need, their end users don't need to have the extension installed, or they don't even need to have Chrome installed. They can use it in a different browser. A much more enhanced tutorial editor experience, because now it's quite reduced. And later on, we're planning on reusing the tutorials to generate content under a different form, like PDFs or videos or whatever form it's required for that company. And we're very keen to hear your feedback on have you ever looked for something like this? Is this something that you feel might be useful to your companies? Maybe if you have a call center, let's say. I know somebody from Orange is here in the call. So hi, Monica. Maybe it's useful for training people when you're onboarding. You have a high turnover of employees, and this could help them easily adopt applications. Or, as I said, for tech support teams, we're unrolling it right now in our tech support teams and customizing it, because we have different user scenarios. So I'm looking for your feedback. And
all right, so this is the feedback. You can leave the screen and let's hop on to questions coming from, in the order that they're given, from Matei and Ionuț. If Monica can hear us, she can queue in as well. Question from Matei: are you a competitor to WalkMe? And I'll leave the floor to you.
They're a competitor too. I haven't listed them because they have a much broader range of products. So this one is just one part of their product. And another reason, there are many companies, not just WalkMe, but most of them have a top-down approach to going to market. And basically, they have the contact us pricing model. Probably that creates a lot of friction for potential users. And it's also not just that the problem, it's the high cost of acquisition for a customer, because you need a sales force and a lot more resources on that side. And it's not something that we're comfortable doing it, especially since we're a developer-focused company and we know how to do development. We've learned how to do marketing over time. Direct sales, putting the cost sides apart, is a different strategy which we're not focusing.
So you're basically targeting smaller companies, startups, very small developers, freelancers, trying to improve their product?
I would not say very small, but small and medium corporates, even larger companies. So our pricing model is per team, because we think that in any organization, no matter if it's Microsoft or it's our company, a team cannot be larger than from 5 to 30 people. It's not operational to have 200 people in one team. So we don't want to price by the number of tutorials or by the number of users or something. We say, okay, this team needs to use a product like this. It's $99 a month. It should give you enough value to justify the time that you saved. We're seeing tremendous time saved in our own internal experiments and from what we've talked with some external potential users. And it's not quite cheap for some companies. I've seen people saying, okay, I want something much cheaper.
So basically, that's your main differentiator, like being cheaper than the competition?
No. That's the price. We've learned a long time ago that price is not the differentiated part. The pricing strategy is just the way that makes it easier for us to get on the market, because we don't want to invest in recruiting money just to build a sales force. We know how to do products, we know how to build great products. We don't know how to manage salespeople. So it would be an effort that we're wasting on that time. And we're focusing on the community side. So if you go onto our site, there's a stash in the header that says that's basically our cloud, where people can see every tutorial that's saved publicly. So everybody can contribute and create tutorials. Let's say I'm a Google Analytics expert, and I want to create tutorials to teach my followers how to do this. You can create a reputation in that network and share with the community and contribute in that community. As a free user.
A couple of minutes left. Let's spend these minutes with Monica's question. And while we do this, I will queue up here the next company to hold the pitch. Thank you, Monica, for joining us. Monica, Bogdan, leave you the floor.
Yeah, I was muted. Hello. So I'm curious about the scenario for the technical support that you mentioned. My understanding is more that the personas you're targeting are people who are either developing their own products or, as you said right now, trying to raise a community and raise their status as experts in something. How do you think this would work for a call center?
For call center, I looked at it from the employee training perspective. So I imagine, I don't have exact dates, but call centers are not the places where people spend an entire lifetime. Usually you have a high turnover of employees, usually students or something, and onboarding and training them to use the web apps internally that you use might take some time. Surely take some time. So the idea is to create tutorials internally that allows them to learn them much faster without having to poke the friend next to him and say, how do I do this? How do I mark a customer as invalid lead, or depending on the call center, or how do I disable renewals for a license of this type, depending on the project type. And those would be usually saved privately.
Actually, you're thinking of a scenario where you're basically training your own employees on how to use different sites.
And instead of giving them a Word document or a PDF where say, go this and do that, or videos that might become updated if somebody changes your web app. Because in our case, if you change the button, you move it on another part of the page, you change the color, you change the name, that doesn't break. As long as the internals of the page, HTML internals, don't change, we can still run the tutorial in the same way.
Got it. So I have not necessarily a question, but a feedback here. You should be very careful on who you choose to target for your sales channels, basically, and your marketing, because it's very different trying to sell to a large corporate like Orange's versus to someone who is an online influencer in a specific field.
I know.
So you have to address them very
basically enterprise market versus small B2B customers. We're selling that with one of our products now, and it's not easy to address developers on the one side and large IT departments on the other side.
Yeah,
it's frustrating and expensive.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Very interesting. Well done.
Thanks.